Alright, hello, welcome back to another CPL 7 cast. As usual, my name is Cold Warp Gates. Today I'm excited to bring you these playoff games. We're finally here, we finally made it out of the regular season, drawing close to the finale of the whole tournament. And I'm especially excited to bring you this set of games here in the Tier 1 bracket of the Flying SCVs and the Beach Buddies of StarCraft. I recognize so many of these names. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some sick games. And that rhymed. Awesome. Alright, and with that said, let's get into the first series. Alright, here in the top left of, I think this is Fighting Spirit, or probably, I don't know, of some kind of jungle map. It's the Navy Terran Kenzaki Renko. Yeah. And in the bottom left, from the Ash Clan and from the Beach Buddies of StarCraft, it's Senderzi, or Kenderzi, I have no idea how to pronounce that. I remember casting some games from Kenderzi last season. I don't remember how they went, I have to admit, but Kenzaki here might be like my favorite player to cast in the CPL. Last season whipped out some crazy strats. This season seems to be playing it just a bit more standard, and also made it into Tier 1 this season, which is really hype. The last time that I casted him a few weeks ago, I think he was playing Zerg. Seems to be back to Terran. Maybe it was just picking Zerg to dodge the mirror matchup. That's the thing that people do sometimes. So let's see what happens here in this TVZ. Everything looks very standard so far. It looks like we're going to see a 12 hatch. Probably some kind of bio opening here from Kenzaki. I don't think I've ever seen somebody build the first depot all the way up in the corner like this. It's usually just a wall or like by the command center. Probably not a big deal, but something to think about. Actually just realized that my overlay is not correct because it includes a game that I think was a walkover or not actually played or something. So I'm trying to remember that real quick. There we go. Sick. Alright. Yes, it looks like Kenderzi here. Ooh, actually, I don't know. I thought, for some reason, I thought there was a third hatchery coming. That'd be pretty wild. Not quite yet. Looks like Kenzaki will get that first scout off. I always mention this because it's one of those little details that I managed to pick up after watching so many games casted by other people. Like, if this SCV scouts the 12 hatchery first, then Terran can safely go for the command center on 15 before even getting one Marine. But it looks like it's not what we're going to see here from Kenzaki. He's getting the Marine anyway. Of course, it's completely fine to get that get the command center on 18 after the second depot. Maybe, I don't know, here we go. So some kind of hybrid between those two builds. Just neat. Either way, not a huge deviation here. So, in this matchup, especially right now, I feel like the metagame is very settled. It's pretty much 2-hatch muta against 2-Rex Academy. But especially in CPL, you know, we see people try to deviate from that. And if anyone is going to deviate from the meta, it'll be Kenzaki here. Kenderzi does have a few options, you know. We aren't going to see a 3-hatch build this game, but that is possible. If we see a Hydra Den go down in a few moments, we could see 2-hatch Lurker, which is pretty popular in CPL, but I have the feeling we're just going to see a very standard game here from both sides. As I recall, Kenzaki went like standard builds in like 2 games in his last series, and then did something wild in the third game. So I hope we see something like that, because I was so entertained by Kentucky's games in the past. This SCV just completely unobstructed. Sees the Spire go down, gets a little poke in there. Might just, you know, keep staying alive here. Could easily retreat back to safety if that's what I wanted. Ooh, we do have a sneaky SCV running around to the map. I wonder if this is to check for like a fast third. It's like, it's too late to proxy anything, right? I mean, we're pretty much going for a standard build here. It must just be a check for thirds. It used to be, like, a few years ago that Zerg would, like, have a real hard time getting their third up. I'm not sure what changed, if it's just, like, Terrans stopped being so aggressive, or Zerg players just got really good with their meta micro, but we're seeing Zergs go 2-hatch meta and get their third base at, like, 5 minutes, or, like, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Just completely wild compared to the past. Get that gas income going, get up to the hive tech that much faster. It's really scary for Terran, so I can totally understand why he has devoted this second SCV to checking for potential third locations. There we go. Kenderzi putting it at the obvious spot after it's been scouted, so it might be a little bit of time here before Kentucky can find it. We do have the mutas starting to spawn here. I think we saw the eBay finish for Terran, right? Yes. Another thing that I like to say in every TVZ is that it's really sick when the turrets finish like a few seconds before the mutas show up. Seems like we're gonna have a bit more cushion here, but that's completely fine. Yeah, we have Sniping Panda in the chat talking about how it's easier to take a third when going 2-hatch. Has that always been the case? Because I understand why it's like that way now, but I feel like something changed. Because like a few years ago, it was like pretty evenly split between 2-hatch and 3-hatch, and now it's like all 2-hatch. So I feel like something must have changed somewhere. But anyway, we have these first 5 mutas poking in here, trying to get some damage done on the mineral line. Oh, and they find a little pocket here that the turrets don't cover. And then they immediately leave that pocket because Marines show up. Actually taking lots of damage here. One muta going down, the rest of them are pretty bruised up. A nice defense here from Terran. And we're actually seeing Kenderzi stop at a pretty low amount of mutas and immediately get that lurker tech and actually get that hive tech started really fast here. I feel like a lot of the time, especially with 2-hatch, we see like just endless mutas and just pour on that aggression, but it seems like in this game Zergist opted to do something else. Oh, and this poor SCV is trapped behind the mineral line by the factory and the academy. If only there was something that Terran could stack. Like, what? Should you like stack your science vessels to make it harder to clone Scourge on them? You can take it, you know, you can take some kind of advantage of this problem. Actually, now that I think about it, the presence of this factory with a machine shop as opposed to a second starport could indicate that we're going to see Kentucky go for like an earlier aggressive build here with some siege tanks, but actually we're not seeing the factory do anything, so I'm not sure what we're going to see out of that. But that is something that Terran players can try to do sometimes, rather than build up a big count of vessels. Just get a few vessels, get some tanks, start shooting down these sunks, try to get some damage done before the hive tech is online. I know we just heard Kentucky scan something. Maybe scan this relatively fast hive and knew that the tanks weren't going to get there in time. Instead, just going to move out right now with this big bio ball. Only 2 sunkens is not going to cover it, and especially with only 1 lurker. It's a little bit spooky for Zerg, but of course Terran does not have complete map vision. You don't have enough energy to scan the entire map and see everything just yet. So we do have a few more mutas now. Oh, we have a bunch of Mistral units here in the middle. There was a Hydra here. Several Overlords. Pretty exposed here. Could be dangerous for Zerg if Terran catches that. Oh, and we have a dropship. Okay. This is exciting. I feel like we don't see bio drops nearly enough. Of course, it's, you know, they're pretty risky when Zerg invests a lot into air already, but they can get so much damage done. It seems like one of those Overlords went down, at least. Going to supply block a Kenderzi here, which could be a critical problem, given that this push and drop are on the way across the map here. This is exactly when Kenderzi would like to be building, you know, some more lurkers or something like that. Actually, I'm noticing we skipped Defilers and went to Ultras. It's not quite Crazy Zerg. Because I believe in Crazy Zerg you skip lurkers too. So it's not like the world's fastest Ultra Cannon, but it is a different approach than Defilers. But I'm kind of scared because it's going to take a long time to get that armor upgrade and the speed upgrade and get like a sizable amount of Ultras. And Kazaki does not look like he's going to give that amount of time to Zerg. Although he does donate that first science vessel here. Actually a big deal because now there's no permanent detection here to catch this last lurker. Terran's going to be a lot more scared here. Going to have to rely on scans. Oh, I'll tell you one thing that Terran's not scared of though is some kind of counterattack with a third base and a fourth base coming up super fast for Terran. This is the kind of Kenzaki play that I wanted to see here. We finally have a tank. And start shelling down this Sunken. We have a ton of units here ready to snipe it. But not for free. Replacement vessel is here. I think it has enough mana to hit this Amida ball, but is it even necessary? Marines are doing a good job on their own. That one drone was done. He didn't want to work anymore. Terran is deciding to charge in here, take down these Sunks, take down this Lurker. What does Zerg have to deal with it? There's a Nidus Canal, but there's no more Lurkers, there's no more Ultras, there's no Defilers. All the mutas get mowed down. This drop is going to be here. I think this might be the final nail in the coffin for the dreams of the Zerg here. Everything in this main is going to die. Nice touch here, though, with this cheeky Lurker A blocking the ramp. So annoying. Oh, and like trying to contain the Terran army in here. But honestly, I don't know if they're ever going to want to leave this area. This poor Ultralisk finally pops, but he gets melted immediately without those upgrades. Well, we even have a battle cruiser in production. Not a complete meme unit, like they actually do have some purpose in this matchup, but you know, it's still cool to see them. The main is going to get cleared out here. Zerg is going to get reset to the Stone Age here. Not even a spawning pool. Just two sunken colonies and a hatchery. Desperately trying to save the space. We're going to see some money hits here with Lurkers. Actually, lots of Marines go down here. These Ultras, without the armor, they really just melt so quickly. Still buying enough time for the Lurkers to move up. But, like, even if Zerg manages to clear it out this attack, it's still an absolutely devastating win here from Terran. 3 times as many workers, almost 3 times the supply. We have a battle cruiser, and there's no. Okay, never mind. There is technically a Spire still alive, but battle cruisers are very cost effective against Scourge. They're pretty cost effective against Overlords too, as it turns out. Actually decided not to waste his time with the Overlord. Just gonna scoot down to that 3rd base. I think this battle cruiser is actually might like just end the game, because otherwise Kenderzi will have to spend all of his larvae on Scourge. We saw Kenzeki scan the main there. Trying to get an idea. It seems like these tanks have to be just misrallied, right? Like, you don't just want 2 tanks in the middle of the map. Actually, the Bioforce is kind of slow to replenish here from Kenzeki. All of these barracks are idle. Maybe memeing around a little bit with his drop with his battlecruiser. Completely shutting down mining here at the 3rd base. Not enough Scourge. All those larvae go to waste. The drones are expecting to be able to come back. They do not. Oh, I think the dropship get cleaned up? I think the dropship must have died here. I saw it on the minimap, but I was looking at the battlecruiser being a hero. 3 Ultralisk and a drone come here to threaten the Terran 3rd base. I wonder if he's gonna like try to hide a base or something. Grab this, it will not work. Actually, these Ultras get a ton of kills. 15 kills on the Ultras before it goes down. Big value. Starting to see more starports going down. Kenzeki just wants to make some battlecruisers, man. Somehow these 2 Sunkens are both really low. Battlecruiser decided to change targets at some point. Building a turret here in the bottom right of the map. Just gonna deny that to any drones that want to come by. Jersey blindly placing these Scourge here to cover for those drops. Yeah, I know it's not cool to call a game, but I'm pretty sure that this is over. And I'm pretty sure Terran has won, and we're just gonna see these battlecruisers come out until Zerg decides to get out of the game. Like, having 4 bases as Terran in this matchup is nuts. Like, this is the time when a Terran player would normally be getting their 3rd base. And Kenzeki's had a 3rd and 4th for like 6 minutes. Battlecruiser back to, looks like it's chasing some lings or something. I don't know what's going on here. Got 1 shot off, he decided to chill. A bunch of Scourge here, looks like they will get this one. At what cost? Oh, 1 ling just covers the 4th base. Which actually hasn't been mining from all that much just yet. How many SCVs is Ling gonna kill before something happens here? There we go. Spooky. Still no progression on the Tech Berserk, of course, you know, it's trying to stay alive in this game. Doesn't really have time to make a bunch of defilers and stuff. But they're gonna be sorely missed. Scans just in time to discover that this natural is going back online. Start to send this ball of units, and this time I just don't see what Zerg has left to deal with it. They lost a bunch of Ultras here trying to do these counterattacks. Don't really have any kind of critical mass of any high-tech unit here. The science vessel is flying around looking for something valuable to irradiate, but there we go, finally finding one of these 2 stacked lurkers. Lurkers can't hit BC though. Charging up the ramp. The lurker is not targeted on the Marines as they go up the ramp, so it doesn't get too many kills. Could have been big money, and there you go, Kenderzi taps out. And Kenzeki takes the first game in this series. Heading to Polaris Rhapsody. aka the long blue boy. Ooh, here we go in the top left. The white Zerg, Kenderzi, getting a little bit smashed by that mid-game push. And in the bottom right, the pale yellow Terran, Kenzaki Raincoat. So this map, of course, you know, it's very long. So a lot of aggression builds are weaker, and a lot of macro builds are better. It has some very funky airspace, kind of, in the main. It's really good for drops, really good for mutas. Lots of space to defend, and like very easy to get behind the natural mineral line. And then the third base situation on this map is pretty unique. You know, there's a close available mineral only third, and then some awkward thirds, like one that's very far away but is very defensible and has gas, and then there's the corner bases, they each have 2 gas. So there's a lot of choices as to where you want to put your third here. Seems like very similar builds again from both players. Even have this depot tucked away again. Both players just gonna rely on their standard play here. The 12 hatch going down, about to be scouted by this SCV. Now hold on a minute. This SCV is leaving the main pretty quickly here. We already have the scouting SCV across the map, and the second one, which does get spotted by this drone. Oh, and we have a third SCV and the Marine. It sounds like we're going to see a bunker rush. I have a feeling it might be tucked here behind the minerals or something like that. Kenderzi has fished it out. He's pulled 6 drones here, going to kill this SCV before it can finish the bunker. But the replacement is here. The bunker goes down. I think this has been stopped pretty effectively. I mean, of course, Zerg still has to pay for all of this mining time, but one drone gets on the Marine, but it gets tackled by the line of SCVs here. Yeah, this actually is a ton of lost mining. I think it's like a worker's mine like slightly less than 1 mineral per second. So I just imagine like a little red 1 number popping up every second, and a bunch of drones are dying. 1 Marine does go down here, but we do have this 1 survivor about to get this a bunker finished. This bunker itself cannot threaten the hatchery directly, but of course it does allow for this one to be built here. A bunch of lings come out. Do manage to kill that bunker. The creep is like racing, desperately trying to get here in time to stop the bunker from being built in range. Actually, is this where it stops? No. Okay, there we go. Oh, I think that this is close up, but there's so many links, and the SCV picks exactly the wrong place to slide to. So is this held? This bunker just keeps getting further and further away from the hatchery. These legs trying to pick it off. Oh, this time though, the SCV is in a smart location. Gets canceled yet again here. Check here really quickly. So we do have gas being mined. Actually getting up to 200 gas. So something cheeky is going to be the follow-up here for Kenzaki. We're not going to go back into a normal game. But we might not ever get to that because we have 4 Marines now protected by these 2 SCVs, and the link count has been chipped down. I just realized there's only 4 drones. Oof. Alright, Zerg is in a much rougher spot than I realized. Now, the last drones are going to go down with this one guy at the natural, trying his best. But I think we can safely say that Kenzaki has done it. GG. Kenzaki takes a very convincing, very fast game 2 in that series to close it out. can update those scores. That's 1-0 for the Flying SCVs. We're getting to our second series here. See, we have an Aggie fan in the chat. Might have to ban you for that. All right, here we go. In the top left, it's the Blackzerg Cause, or Cozy, or something. I'm going to say Cause. I think it's been explained to me before. I don't know. And in the bottom left, actually in the Terran, it's the green Terran Aggie. I assume race picking here. So, Aggie. It was CPL 5, I think, and I got matched against him. And he proxy hatcheried me 2 games in a row. And I was absolutely devastated. Like, I knew he was going to do it. I scouted it, and I still lost. And then, like, later in the same season, we got matched again, and he proxy hatcheried me again, and I saw it, and he still killed me with it. I was so mad. And, like, objectively, he's, like, a really chill dude and a good player, but I hate him. I was so unhappy. And anyway, now that my rant is over, we have some discussion about this in the chat. IRK Superman saying that Aggie's actually been playing Terran all season, which is pretty wild. Interesting. It's interesting to see like which players change races and why. Anyway, in this actual game, everything looks very standard. I'm wondering, like, is Aggie now playing super standard? Is he still doing shenanigans every game? Like, we'll just have to find out here. I was expecting Kentucky to do some shenanigans. Oh, here we go. 2 barracks on 1 base. Not unheard of, but not the standard. That scouting SCV. So this is obviously going to be more aggressive than the normal Terran play. It's going to hit those timings a bit faster with this marine count. Drone gets in here, sees everything. So what is Kaz going to do? This depot is down here. Like, what is this? StarCraft 2? Like, building depots at the bottom of the ramp? I don't know. I'm genuinely curious what this depot placement is about. It must be part of some SimCity later, like when the command center's here, like a bunker and a barracks or something. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen a 1 base Terran play. The last one that I remember, like the Terran just stayed on 1 base like until science vessels. So I have to see if that's what happens here. We do have the gas, so it's not going to be some kind of like quick push into command center or like all-in rush here. Seems to be some kind of developed game plan. Kaz is making lings a lot earlier than they would like to, but still progressing here on their Tech 2 Mutas. Sigma 2 hatch, as is tradition. So what is Aggie going to do with this? Getting that academy, I guess just going up for a very early medic push would be my guess. What is Kaz going to do about that? I mean, I assume just get some songs and get some links. I assume this push hits before the Spire is done. Ooh, 2 links to block the ramp. Very nice touch here. Aggie will have to wait a bit longer to figure out what the tech is. Might have to put a scan to that or something. We do have a scanner. We have the 2 mechs come out, followed by a fire bat. Yeah, we're definitely going to see a push here. I wonder if the fire bat's going to stay behind, block the ramp, or go along with the push. Every ling is pretty precious right now, honestly. Like, Zerg has so few larvae to devote to this defense. Like, having these lanes out here to see the push is important, but you want to keep them alive. Speaking of see the push, Aggie is definitely deploying some shenanigans here, splitting up his push. The lane is only going to see a few Marines this way, whereas the rest of them right here. But, like, honestly, if you're in Kaz's position, like, you're going to expect the Terran to have more than 4 Marines, right? So, like, even if you only see these, you're going to assume that, like, the rest of them are right behind him, or, like, somehow coming to kill you, right? Surely you're not just going to sit here on your one sunk when you know Terran is going one base, right? Like, surely. We got these lanes are desperately hunting for some kind of intel, but it's too late. Terran is already here. We have a second creep colony. The Firebat is here. Oh my god, the drones are in danger. That lane takes all their hits. The sunk is focused down. The drones all pop immediately, and Kaz taps out. Seems like Aggie's one base push really caught him off guard, but honestly, like, Kaz had all of the information. Like, Kaz got in here, saw 2 barracks. So I feel like it's not really a surprise that that push came, right? Yeah, I'm only a small brain Protoss player. Alright, we're headed back to Polaris Rhapsody for Game 2. In the top left, in the olive-ish Terran, it's Aggie again. And in the bottom right, in the Navy Zerg, it's Kaz. So, in the first series, we saw a bunker rush. I'd be surprised if we saw it again. It seems pretty rare nowadays, especially if the Terran doesn't go for like 8 racks or something. I have a feeling we're just going to see 12 hatch again from Zerg. Aggie, though, could do anything, honestly, as we've seen. Yeah, I think it's great to do something unusual in the first game. Like, even if you lose, you end up kind of throwing off your opponent. They're going to feel like they didn't prepare correctly, like they don't know what you're going to do. They might waste a lot of resources being defensive and like scattering for prizes and stuff like that. And of course, if you pull it off, you get a win in the first game, like we saw. So, nice series strategy, I think, from Aggie. Now, with this depot placement, this could be for a wall off. And if we do see that, I assume it's going to be some kind of a Goliath build or other tech. You know, I'm just going to shoot for the moon here and say that I would really like to see, like, 2 Port Wraith. I think that would be dope as hell. Just like, you're not gonna wall off like this if you're gonna go for like 2 racks in main again. Because why would you need to wall off when you have 2 barracks? Especially like if we saw this second depot started before any kind of drone scout got there. Just so Zerg is completely in the dark. Well, we do have gas. Now, I usually get hyped for a Goliath build, which is kind of a CPL staple. But given that it's Aggie, you know, I'm expecting it to be just a little bit wackier, like, you know, just 1 more level deep. Ooh, are we gonna finish this wall? Don't let the drone in. Don't let him see. Oh no. Oh no, slightly too late. Ooh, no. Yep. Slightly too late. The drone is going to get in. Big sad for Aggie, but at this point, not really going to give away any information that you couldn't glean from the existence of the wall in the first place. Oh no, and the Marine's trapped on the outside of the wall, so I actually can't chase down the drone. It's going to stay alive for a while longer. The second one spawns out here too. Actually, a bit of a goof here. I wonder if it's worthwhile to lift the barracks and chase down the drone with the Marine, just because you don't want this alive in here, right? Oh, and also, this is not a depot. This is an academy. My bad. I should have clicked on this. But what are you going to do with one barracks academy? Well, you're not. You're going to do something with two barracks. Because you're going to build this barracks on the other side of the map and then, like, lift it off over here and land stuff really close. And let me go into this story time about this memory that I just recovered from deep in my brain. When I was playing this game as a kid, like circa 2005 or something, like, I vaguely knew that there were pro games, but I didn't really care. Like, I didn't watch or anything. But one time I'm pretty sure it must have been a Boxer replay or something. It was an island map, and it's like one of the built-in maps. It's like really small. It's like a jungle, and there's a canyon through the middle. And Boxer built like 5 barracks, lifted them off, flew them across the map into the corner of his opponent's base, and just made fire bat that in to kill all of the workers. Oh, and Aggie's living up to that a legacy right here. I thought this barracks would go here to just like proxy, but it's actually in the main, building a fire bat. Kaz is gonna be convinced that his opponent is stuck in his main, but no, we have a fire bat in the Zerg main already, and we're actually not going in there with the first one. We're trying to build up a little squad here. And all of the Lings are getting ready to fight the move out as they go down the ramp, which is, you know, a decent tactic, but be afraid. Here we go. We have 2 fire bats and a medic. Oh, and Stim is here. These drones are in trouble. Starting to cook. They're putting the line up here. Maximum splash damage. Oh my god. Oh, and we have a raid from Revolution here. 29 people. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're casting the CPL playoffs, and we're seeing Aggie here, who built a proxy barracks, flew it into the main of his opponent, and then made firebats kill a drone line. An absolute blast. Meanwhile, what I missed, the rest of the move out of Aggie's troops from his main actually managed to clean up the Lings in the natural there. So Zerg is definitely in trouble, and I know what this feels like to play against Aggie and get absolutely wrecked by some ridiculous strategy. Now, mutas do pop up here. Firebats sadly cannot shoot up, but it is 20 SCVs to 10 drones. And like, I don't think this barracks has even been discovered yet. Like, I think Zerg is probably just completely baffled as to the existence of these units in his base. Like, we have a small squad out here, but I don't think there's no way you can get past these sunks and the mutas, right? But I don't know if you even need to either. Now, what is Aggie doing to follow this up? More barracks and an eBay. We got to follow from Beer as well. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. The barracks is discovered. Manages to, I guess, just get out in peace. The mutas are too focused on defending the natural for now. Some reinforcements here. Looks like the bio squads are going to group up, but this is actually a pretty scary force on the ground here for Zerg, depending on how well the micro goes. Both armies here are very fragile. They want as many units in this fight as possible. Terran army starts to get picked off here, but there's not that many mutas and a lot of marines here in the reinforcements. So both players decide it's better to just back off and rebuild for now. But I think this like 1 base, 3 barracks pump is going to go pretty well, especially if this 4th barracks can land and make some more units. Yeah, this is looking better and better for Terran. Especially, yeah, we do have some turrets now. Actually, a bunch of turrets, especially considering that we're on 1 base, but it's worth it to just not, you know, to not die to mutas in your main. We have a scary force here. The Spire. Oh, I didn't realize the Spire went down. That is really rough for Zerg. Trying to get that back up. Only 2 Sunkens so far in a very fragile force of defenders here. Kaz is going to have his work cut out for him trying to stay alive. We do have a 3rd Sunk coming online here. Oh, the Mutas. Be very brave. It's just not that easy to pick up Regal when you have 3 Mutas. Sunkens are starting to go down. Lings try to get this around, but the Fireback cleans up so many of them. 1 Sunken, those go down. The last Mutas are going to go down. Oh, it's 2 Sunks here against 3 Medics and 4 Marines. It's 1 Fireback, so close. I think honestly you just kill the drones at this point. Yeah. Resetting the count back to 10. Spire does finish though, so Mutas are going to pop up and clean this up, but I mean I think this is a successful push from Terran to kill a bunch of drones. Reset the Sunk count, reset the Mutas. You've got plenty of reinforcements. The 4th Barracks has managed to make it all the way from here to basically back inside the main of Aggie. Going up to 5 barracks on 1 base and finally getting that expansion. And almost 10 minutes into the game. Now what is Kaz going to do with this time until the next push? I mean, I think just try not to die. Like, ready to these Sunks come online. There's just not that much income. Like, we have, it looks like 6 drones on gas, and then I guess 8 drones on minerals. Not a lot. And there's a lot of focus on these Mutas, which are finding little places of opportunity. Pick off a unit here and SCV there. Oh, and I didn't even notice on the mini-map, Aggie is moving out with a big force again. I think with 3 Sunks, Kaz should be okay. I believe the rule is like 1 medic per Sunk if you want to bust. So we're not quite there, but still going to force some kind of reaction from Kaz, and it will at least get those Mutas out of the main. The Natural Command Center is done. We're getting turrets here behind the Natural Mineral line. Alright, Aggie trying to poke in here, decides the better of it, seeing the 3 Sunks. Oh, we have +1 done too. I did not even realize that. No upgrades out for Zerg, just no extra money for that kind of thing. The Natural Command Center is landed. Are we going to see a transfer? I sure hope so. Just more mutas coming out from Zerg. No time to build any drones. Here we go, another wave of reinforcements. With this, I'm pretty sure Aggie can bust these Sunks unless something big changes. Kaz is doing a really good job, like, being mobile with their army, trying to look out for these movements, even if you don't find him. Like, even if he does not find these pushes, like, it's still a nice touch to be putting in this much effort into getting map vision. I don't know if this was a misclick or Aggie expected there to be a 3rd here, but they're all hanging out at the 3rd. Yeah, they have moved around a little bit. Might be able to sandwich these mutas here kind of in the middle. The Queen's Nest is on the way, skipping the Hydra Den, even getting the Queen's Nest before the 3rd base. With those juicy defilers, I would imagine. These mutas doing a very good job microing over this cliff, getting a lot of marine kills, but this is the real story over here. This Bioforce pushing these Sunks, and actually without everything being grouped up, it might not be enough. There we go, no. Terran does triumph. That +1 armor finishes right before the game ends, and Aggie takes the series. Going to even it up for these teams here. It's good because last week the games I casted were a complete blowout, like one team won 4-0, so I'm glad we're at least gonna have, you know, one win for each team here. All right, let's get into series number 3. It's going to be everyone's favorite TVT. I have a confession to make. I always look at the viewership numbers when we cast a TVT, and it's like consistently that there's a drop. Here we go in the top left in what Peach? I don't know. In the Peach Terran, it's Exo fighting for the flying SCVs, and in the bottom left, the magenta Terran Theseus. Okay, so TVT, right? Like, we all like to meme about it. We all know that it's by far the longest matchup on average, but to be honest, in CPL, like, we don't see like the 45-minute just siege tanks killing siege tanks for the entire time kind of game. We don't really see that. We see a lot of games, and on one base we see a lot of games, and in the 2 base phase, just because, you know, it's hard to survive a game long enough to get to that ridiculous late game phase of TVT. One thing that I've noticed in like basically every TVT is we see one player go for 2 factory and one player go for like a 1 factory expand, and I think all times but 1, maybe 2, the 2 factory player loses. So we'll see how that pattern plays out today. Everything's standard so far. Everybody getting all their buildings in their main, no BBS or anything like that. Although, okay, so Theseus is on the Beach Buddies of StarCraft, aka BBS. I think if you're Terran, can you hear me now? Oh man, I got up to fix my blinds and I think I pulled my mic out like an idiot. Hope I haven't been muted for too long. Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, if you're on a team named BBS, like, I think you should be obligated to go BBS at least once every series. The player's scouting the wrong way, so no early information. And actually, Exo is putting in the extra effort to completely wall off here. Either worried about scouting or massive vultures or something like that. Could indicate that Exo is going to do something a bit more tech heavy. I called for 2-port Wraith in the last series. Did not happen. Oh no, we have 2 factories. You can't make Wraith out of those. Come on. I just want to see Wraiths, alright? It's been a while. But yeah, this time we actually have both players going for 2 factory. Now, is it going to be some kind of tank heavy play, or are we going to see this lean into mass vultures? You can even go 3 factory vulture and just really lean into it. Actually, it seems like we're going to go into 2 factory nothing from Exo here. Just completely idle factory. Are we waiting to get a Goliath? Like, I guess we're getting actually both players are getting armory. Is there some kind of TVT Goliath build that I'm not aware of? Ooh, the SCV from Exo gets in here. The Marine doesn't even bother to chase. Exo is going to see that it's basically a mirror build here. Oh, hold on. There's a starport. Okay, is this like a Goliath drop build? I think I've heard like Artosis talk about this. How like early on, like the best thing you can put in a dropship is is Goliaths. Although I still feel like Vultures would be better. I don't know. But I guess Goliaths beat Vultures, so if Quentin goes Vultures, then you're in a good place. I don't know. We have Superman in the chat explaining that 4 Goliath drop is a build. Alright, good to know. Seems like Theseus is like not going for a drop, so it's just like tanks with Goliaths. Interesting. I mean, I guess like tank Goliath should be tank Vulture, right? Which might be the more normal thing to see here. I assume that a Goliath shot at this barracks, which might give Theseus the information that he needs to figure out what build his opponent is going for. Oh, the dropship is here. Picks up those 4 Goliaths. Superman called it. Superman, or however you say that name. Oh, and Theseus is not onto this. All these units are moving out, so there won't be very much here to defend this drop. Just this one tank and this one Goliath that's about to pop. How much damage is going to get done here? A bunch of SCVs going down. Actually, Goliath's doing a great job killing these workers, and they all get out. For now, I mean, honestly, you can just drop and kill this Goliath, right? Ooh, but the defending Goliath does a ton of damage to this dropship, kind of puts a timer on how long it can live here. Do 4 Goliaths beat a tank? Nice micro playing method with 1, yes. This Goliath drop is doing so much damage here. Second tank does pop up. He's just trying to repair it, but it's not enough. No, we still have all 4 Goliaths. Meanwhile, this army from Theseus is here. Actually burns down the natural, but okay. Are there actually no units here? There's no units in the main of Exo. So I feel like actually, if Theseus like walked in here, they might have a base trade. Like these tanks are about to pop, but they don't have siege mode or anything. I wasn't really looking over here, but I feel like Theseus could have done an equivalent amount of damage. But that's not what we saw. So Exo takes a very quick game 1, especially for TVT. Once again, we're heading to Polaris Rhapsody. In the top left, the Teal Terran Exo winning the first game with a Savage Goliath drop. And the bottom right, Theseus in the Magenta Terran once again. Now this map is like even better for drops with the funky shape of the main and all the airspace that you have to cover. I don't really know if you would go for a drop build 2 times in a row in a series though. Still excited to see what these players pick. So I'm trying to decide, like, beyond the drop issue, how would this map affect TVT? I feel like this map would actually be pretty impactful on this matchup. Like, there's so many tiny chokes where if you covered them, like, your opponent is never, ever going to get out. Like, the little bridges and the ramps on the side of the map, like, defender's advantage is going to be huge there. But the map in general, not just the mains, is pretty good for air. So I think all that is going to lead to like drops happening everywhere. You know, players like do drops trying to secure positions and stuff like that. If we get to that point in the game. So far, pretty much identical from both players. With the scouting SCVs leaving at about the same time. really don't know what to talk about at this point in the game. Kind of my caster weakness. It's a lot harder to like BS fill up time like I'm doing right now if you're by yourself. Like if you have a co-caster, you can like tell stories or something. But it's not so easy when you're by yourself. Anyway, it looks like we do finally have that factory coming down. Oh, this SCV actually blocking the factory of Theseus, just getting a few seconds ahead there. Really annoying. But it does finally get started. Actually, a considerable amount of time behind the factory of Exo. We'll see if that makes a bigger impact on the game as it goes forward. Looks like the second factory will go down for Theseus. Probably not going to see Mass Vulture out of him, given that we still have SCVs and gas. And it sure looks like Exo is about to save up for an early expansion here off of this one factory. So completely switching up the strategy archetype here, starting with quick aggression and going into quick expansion here. Definitely going to tax Theseus' scouting and thinking here. We are going to get tanks out of this one factory. Kind of a middle ground defense here. Should be good against vultures or tanks, hypothetically. Theseus seems to be going just about the same build they went last time. Yeah, going to get like one vulture here and then go tank Goliath. This SCV does scout the natural and makes it into the main in time to see this tank here, to see the second factory building. Should give Theseus a pretty good idea of what's going on in the base of his opponent. But what do you do when you're in this position? Like, but like I said, like I see so many series, there's so many games in CPL where one player goes for two factory and one player goes for this one factory expand, and the two factory push is just too slow. Of course, one thing about this matchup is like when you do these kind of tank contains, you don't need to kill your opponent. I've heard it said that like positioning is more important than like bases or worker count, because like hypothetically, let's say that Theseus keeps Exo in like contained here, so even if that leaves Exo mining more bases for now, that kind of gives the rest of the map to Theseus, so that will eventually lead to an economic advantage. Here we go, we do have a small task force here headed out to the natural of Exo. Looks like two vultures, two tanks, a marine, and a Goliath. But we already have two tanks with siege mode for Exo. No spotters, though. Like no like flying buildings or anything. Theseus, I don't know if this is on purpose trying to hide under the barracks, but actually picking off one of the tanks. I think the second one is going to stay alive, though. Yes, and it cleans up the rest of the attackers. So a solid hold here for Exo, trading one tank for basically the entire army of Theseus. And now we don't even have like a natural started in this. This is what I see like every TVT. The poor 2-fact player just doesn't have enough. We even have Exo starting to get these upgrades, like mines and the attack upgrades here, which eventually will snowball into a nice advantage. This depot is being picked at, but honestly, who cares? You just want to keep your base alive, especially if this barracks goes down. Like, there won't be anything to spot stuff in the natural. We do finally have this command center started. The barracks of Exo well scouted. Probably feel pretty good about that, seeing that command center start so late. Looks like these Two SCVs are psyching themselves up to start building some depots here. Oh no, this guy could not handle it. He's going to go back. We have a fast starport coming online, followed by a third factory for Exo. I wonder if this is for drops again, or like, are we going to get a science facility and try to get it in time for its +2 attack? I think both are equally likely here. A +2 attack upgrades in this match is really strong, but we'll look at that later. Trying to break out here from this contain. Doing a good job mines here, but everything dies before any mines can actually go off. Nice control here from Exo. Bless out of this contain, and now like basically every advantage is gone from Theseus. The Exo has the earlier natural and is out on the map now. He's getting the upgrades as a tech. Well, actually, we do have a starport for. Oh, we have 2 starports for Theseus, so I called it. I wanted to see some wraiths, but I think it might be too late. The dropship again started for Exo. Wraiths would be a good response to drops if that's what we are going to see out of these starports, but I'm worried that we might not have time for that. Although now I'm looking at it. Okay, so this push is much less threatening now that Theseus has his own tanks sieged up here, covering like all of these chokes. Here we go. We have wraiths. Finally, I've been calling for them all night. Let's see some paper plane action here. The dropship is done. Are we going to see 4 Goliaths again, or maybe 2 Goliaths in a tank? 4 Goliaths here, actually. So this drop might be able to defend itself against the wraiths. It's going to come down to like how early the drop is caught. Right, so it never leaves the main. Oh, we're going to have 2 dropships. Okay. Wraith, not like constant wraith production, but they are pooling up here in the base, getting cloak. Of course, Jaren has map axe, so I don't know how valuable the cloak is going to be here. Topping these drops, we have 2 dropships. The wraiths are not going to be able to kill these fast enough. The units are going to drop out. Now, are they going to drop in the main, or are they going to drop like on the army to try to bust in? Seems like they might be going for the main, possibly here in this area behind the mineral line, which would also camp the starports. All right, here we go. See how effective this is. The wraiths are going to be here, but they cannot kill these dropships in time, and the Goliaths will absolutely clean up these wraiths. Tucked very nicely behind this. Theseus just says, nope, not dealing with that. Taps out of the game. That's another quick series here. Exo is going to take it 2-0, bringing it 2-1 in favor of the Flying SCVs. Alright, the last series of the day. It's another ZVT, so no Protoss. Feels bad, man. That's okay. That's okay. I wanted to see at least one Protoss player tonight. But here in the top right of Fighting Spirit, it's the Pink Zerg Type 100. And in the top left, it's U-Round from the clan Revolution. Now, U-Round has casted several times this season. So, a round of applause for that. Type 100, I don't think I've seen them play before. I guess we'll find out how they do here. So we've seen several TVZs. Actually have seen a variety of builds tonight. But the Terran won every TVZ game so far. So will that pattern hold? Or will Type 100 get a win or two on the board? Seems like it's going to be another set of standard openings here. No 8 racks, no 9 pool. This might be the matchup where, with like the most, where the standard builds occur the most. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, we have the least amount of deviations from the normal game time, like the normal game plan. I mean, let me know how you feel about that. Like, is there another matchup where it's more standard? Like, I feel like we mostly see 12 pool or 12 hatch against 2X Academy. It's like 80% of games. You know what? While I was giving that rant about how normal this game was, this is not a hatchery. This is a spawning pool. I should actually pay attention. So this looks like a 9 pool. What is this going to get for Type 100? There's no gas follow-up, so it's not going to be like some super early tech cheese or something like that. It's just going to be these 6 lings. How vulnerable is E-Round going to be here? They're going to scout it first, so should be able to like block the ramp with some SCVs. Now, seeing this hatchery build start this late is enough of a tip-off. But here we go. We have 6 lings. Nice reaction time from E-Round. Pulls it away. Keeps the SCV alive. Should be really important to scout what the follow-up is going to be from Zerg. Now, what do you do as Terran? You build bunker down here? Do you just block your ramp with an SCV and keep Marines at the top? Actually, I think this Marine was delayed. I think E-Round was probably like planning to get a really fast command center here. So this one Marine is going to pop just in time. 6 lings here. Going to try to bust up this ramp. We have 5 SCVs. E-Round is determined to not die to this. I like it. Although, oh my god, these lings are just brutalizing these SCVs. I thought they would do a much better job blocking, but actually all of the SCVs go down? What? This Marine itself might go down? Oh my god, lings are broken, guys. Can we nerf Zerg, please? Like, holy shit. Wow, so 6 lings beat 5 SCVs and 1 Marine. Like, going up a ramp. Busted. Is that enough damage, though? I mean, I think this is probably pretty good for Zerg. Like, Terran is basically paused. Like, they lost some workers, they lost a Marine, there's no gas, there's no second barracks, there's no command center. It's just now starting. Like, you'd probably be, like, finishing up right now in a normal game. Now, Zerg, of course, you know, it wasn't free for them to do that, but the lair is on the way. The natural is done. Only made, I guess, this set of lings and 1 more, so didn't follow up with a bunch of lings that won't do any damage. I think this is probably, like, slight advantage for Zerg. But, you know, I'm a Pro S player, so who knows. Oh, and a very fast 3rd hatchery, like 4 minutes and 30 seconds, like before the layer is even done. So if this gets up, which I think it will, without being scouted, then Zerg is absolutely ahead. And that's really smart. Like, I would have not thought to get this fast 3rd, but because Terran's been set back so much, like, their ability to be aggressive on the map is also going to be delayed. And, like, mentally, I think E-Round is not going to be in the mood to attack, right? Like, if you just hold off a cheese, you're going to be like, okay, Jesus, I'm alive, I can make stuff. You're not going to be like, aha, I had to counterattack immediately before he expands. You wouldn't even really tell it from what's going on here in the main and natural. Like, it all looks normal. We have the spire coming up. The 1 sunk at the front. Nothing is really missing from here that would tip a E-Round off that there's a hidden base. Okay, though. keeping me completely safe from any shenanigans from these two links, which are just put here to scout mostly anyway. Their base starting to come online here with this drone. Assume that we're going to see gas mined very quickly. Spire's almost done. Bunny lined up almost perfectly for 6 mutas to come out here. Canceling this suck. Some more money here for type 100. Now, do we have an eBay? We do. Okay, there we go. I was like, oh god, we have no turrets. Turrets are started just as the mutas finish, and actually we're seeing flyer attack in production before any mutas finish, so Type 100 is pretty confident in their ability to get some damage done with these mutas. Let's see how that goes. The previous Zerg players we've seen tonight kind of struggle with that, you know, due to the circumstances of their games. But a mutas in the hands of a god can be truly terrifying in this matchup. Just kill so many Marines. And here they are. Picking off one in exchange for some muta health. Ooh, a fast Evo chamber for a fast armor upgrade. Pretty cool. I can't remember the last time I've seen that kind of thing. By the way, thank you for following Humming Pain. Glad to have you around. And Easius, welcome as well. Some mutas here trying to get in on the natural. Turrets are placed very well here. Year-round stabilizing here. Getting this tech online. Oh, we do have that Queen's Nest coming up. Hive tech is going to be on the way. Terran just got that. This base, though, being up. I mean, by now, Terran should expect Zerg to have a third base, as we talked about earlier, but you know, it's been up for about a minute longer than it would be otherwise. That extra gas is really going to contribute to this hive tech. So the mutas actually not able to do too much damage. I guess the +1 attack is not quite done yet. Oh my god, we have another follower. Thank you, Syrax SK. It was a productive night. Here we go. Now we're up to 11 mutas. Trying to get some damage done, but the turrets in the bunker plays really well. Oh my gosh. Shaman Sky. Hell yeah. This is good. I like this. Keep this up. Get that science facility. These vessels are going to become very important if these mutas keep doing some damage like this. Oh, kind of not a great trade there for the mutas. I think like 2 or 3 of them went down there. Terran is taking some damage, but still building up for this critical mass here. I feel like normally when we see these fire bats get added, it means the Terran is really thinking about moving out very soon. That is what we see here. Only 3 medics though. Like maybe these fire bats would be better as medics. I don't know. Actually, no science vessels started yet. Actually, kind of a big mistake. You really want them. Oh, and these overlords either misrallied or used for stacking. Yeah, I think this must be the stacking overlord right here. So 3 overlords go down right as this push out comes, and that's actually going to supply the Zerg at literally the worst possible moment. Seems like they're able to start. Well, they're able to start 3 sets of Scourge, which will not help them against Marines. Oh, you just take some big hits. They're flying right into the arc of Marines. Picking off some medics though. Down to 1 medic. Terran push might be kind of neutralized here. Yeah, 4 Sunkens. Okay, so this base is completely fine. Will you round find the 3rd base in the bottom? Ooh, well there's 4 Sunkens there too. Type 100 does not want to die. A U-round is desperately scanning, looking for this base. He does not find it. I guess if you knew the Sunken were here, like you could probably go this ramp and be okay, but you're more likely to come from the middle of the map. Anyway, while I'm talking, we just start to get some big hits here on this Bioforce, just keeping them away long enough. And actually, again, oh, So this was Crazy Zerg. Okay. Because there's been no Hydroden. That's what we got the fast chamber for the upgrades. This actually is Crazy Zerg. Okay, sick. And the first set of Ultras is starting to come online here. The armor upgrade is on the way. We do have that +1 Carapace done already. So with these 4 sunks and the Ultras starting to pop, Zerg is going to be okay here. Mutas have taken a lot of damage to find this though. A lot of losses on both sides. Actually, the Mutas might get completely cleaned up here. Is it worth it? I don't know. Like, I think Zerg is going to be okay, but I feel like mathematically it's probably better to keep those Mutas around. Especially given that Science Vessel production has been kind of late here. There's not that many. You probably want them to irradiate your Mutas rather than irradiate Ultras, and then like hopefully you can unstack the Mutas to avoid taking too much damage. The armor upgrade is done for the Ultras. U-Round has seen these Ultras now, so if he wasn't able to tell earlier, it definitely is this Crazy Zerg. A medic and SCV scouting the bottom right, finding an Overlord but no base. SCV here. U-Round really wants to find this third base. This happens to me all the time. Like, I'm like, okay, they must have a hidden base somewhere, right? And then just my brain just like rules out one base, like this one, and just doesn't check it. Yeah, we have the cry of Ultra Strong in the chat, and I think these 8 Ultras are going to be pretty strong here when this push moves out. Second starport here, finally coming online. Needs to get that a vessel count up to have any chance of dealing with all of these Ultras. Scouting nets were cleaned up here, I think. So many Ultras, like not even Ultra Ling really. Like I think there's more Ultras than there are Lings right now. Ooh, Irradiate going down on some of these Ultras, but the Scourge clean up all of the vessels, and that's a big deal. Like resetting that count is brutal. And now these Ultras might even use this Irradiate on these Marines. There's a huge ball of Marines here and a bunch of bunkers. I don't know if Zerg wants to attack. Like Ultras are so bad at attacking undefended divisions. They're so dumb. And a bunch of them do go down, and the rest take a bunch of damage. This is the kind of mistake that Type 100 needs to make for U-Round to get back into the game. Like I know we just saw some vessels go down, which is rough too, but like a Terran with no vessels does beat a Zerg with no Ultras, like with like no units. Fourth base, just about done here for Zerg. The more gas, the better. So U-Round not really confident enough to cross. Well, right as soon as I start talking, this army started to move across the map, but not really like pushing the issue yet. Probably waiting for a vessel. I really hope this tank is not trapped, but I think he might be trapped. I think this tank cannot get out. That's a major feels bad moment right there. Huge bioforce we got on the map. About to meet with an equally huge wall of Ultras. Total of 5 armor. It's a total of 7 attacks. So actually doing a nice job keeping up with the attack upgrades here. Is it going to be enough? Pretty much just Marines and Medics here against Sunks and Ultras. Oh, and a nice flank here from the back for the Zerg. I think Type 100 is going to hold this. It's really close either way, but there we go. The Ultras are able to weather the storm here, take out all of the Marines. The Medics start to get popped. And now I think Type 100 is in a commanding because Terran is going to be stuck on 2 bases here, has to lift off the starport. to make room for this tank, but honestly, what is one tank gonna do? Zerg is at 4 bases with a 5th one coming online. Upgrades are on the way. Looks like, yeah, that's gonna be 3-3 on the way for Zerg. The Filer Mound is done, so regular Hive Tech has been achieved. This bunker cannot stay in the game, and U-Round has to back out after losing to the crazy Zerg here of Type 100. So a nice, unusual game plan here. Oops, from Type 100 here. But yeah, sorry for having the lobby on the screen. Hope nobody caught the spoilers. Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. In the top left of Polaris Rhapsody for the final time tonight, it's U-Round, the red Terran, and in the bottom right, the green Protoss Type 100. Protoss, the green Zerg Type 100. Can you tell I'm tired? Look at this Protoss Nexus. Look at these probes. Look at them. So last game we saw Type 100 go for that 9 pull. I don't think he would do that on this map, especially not 2 games in a row. But there's plenty of other shenanigans you can get up to as Zerg if you want to, if you don't want to play a normal game. Let's see what actually happens here. Again, this is that phase of the game where I don't really know what to talk about until we see what the builds are going to be. No BBS or anything from the Terran, despite being on the team BBS. Looks like it'll probably be a 12 hatch this time with this Overlord in production before any kind of pool. 12 pool is not a thing, right? Like, I don't know what 12 pool would be for in this matchup. Alright, so what is Type 100 doing here? Going to get that 12 hatch down and a very early scouting drone. But similar to Kenzaki before, U-Round, or was it Aggie? I don't, who walled off? I think it was Aggie who walled off, right? I don't know, whatever. But similar to a previous Terran, U-Round is setting up to wall off his main. Looks like the drone might get there before the wall can be finished, though. Yeah, and it is going to be another 2-hatch build here from Zerg. Oh, the wall is finished, or closed at least. We got Basilius in the chat with Tasagi. I agree. Never mind the fact that Terran just lost. It was crazy Zerg in the first game. We'll see what happens this time. I can't believe this drone. By the way, while I was distracted by the chat, this drone actually killed that depot that was paused here. Now it's in here. Going to see what follow-up is in without a gas. Like, oh my god, we're actually going to see a gas steal. Brutal. So what is this build from U-Round? Like, we saw a 1 base 2 barracks, but there's only 1 barracks. No gas was taken. There's no command center. What is U-Round doing? Like, what is this build? I'm a little bit worried here that maybe U-Round is just thrown off, especially with this gas steal. Like, I feel like this is actually really smart. Because, like, what is U-Round going to do without the gas? Like, just have 1 barracks on 1 base. this command center is started, but like this is pretty late. This is like 4 supply late, really. Oh, okay, I get it. So maybe Uran was just worried about being cheesed, and that's why we had the wall off in the later command center, which is like understandable, but this might be too high a price to pay. We have some poets in the chat talking about the nature of life and death. Oh, and no, oh my god, while the Marines are killing the gas, we have Lings here at the depot. Type 100 is a demon, dude. This SCV cancels whatever it's doing, trying to repair this. The Marines get here. Is the depot going to go down? I don't think so, with 2 repairing SCVs. There we go. Oh my god, it's so close. Oh my god, it does go down. What? Oh, because the other SCV left. But too many Lings die in the attack to take advantage of that. Still, overall, basically, like, yeah, Zerg is doing great. We have a Spire before the National Command Center is even done. Like, basically, Year-Round took a bunch of damage in this game because of last game. Just like psychologically, he played way too defensive. And meanwhile, Type 100 has been playing a completely standard game here, minus that depot attempt. Yeah, this command center's not even landed yet. Oh my god, poor Year-Round. Spire's almost done here. I'm gonna see some aggressive mutas, I would imagine. We don't even have a... Oh yeah, there's no eBay here coming online. If we don't see that started soon, I think Year-Round is going to get caught completely surprised here. Getting a... What is this, like a 2.5 hatch build? This is weird. Maybe it's just... Maybe Type 100 is like, oh, I have some extra minerals, I'll make a hatchery. But like, I feel like you would get them at the 3rd, really. I don't know. We do finally have the eBay here, about halfway, but the mutas are just about to pop, so the turrets are gonna be, it's gonna be really close for these turrets to finish. Are we gonna have my favorite thing where the turrets finish right as the mutas get there? It might be just a little bit too late, honestly. Especially these mutas. Well, if the mutas sit here, the turn will be fine. There we go. Alright, the mutas starting to cross the map. They might be trying to chase down this SCV, which probably is not the right choice. Probably want to fly to the Terran base as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Year-Round trying to correct course back into a normal game here. Kind of, let's start to look normal. Not that many turrets, though. Maybe trying to skimp here. Maybe he just doesn't have enough money because of the later natural. See, Ozij, I don't know say your name. Sorry, in the chat saying that 5 mutas won't do much, but like there were no turrets and not that many Marines. So I feel like even a small number like 5 can do it. Meanwhile, we had this Bioforce actually moving out from Year-Round. I'm not sure if the mutas maybe saw it in the corner of the region or not, but that lane did. There we go. So Type 100 knows that Year-Round is out on the map. These Marines might be able to fight these mutas, but there's only one medic. Basically no micro on the mutas there. They take a bunch of free damage. Joined by their 2 brothers here. Type 100 slipping just a little bit, taking a lot of damage on these mutas. And a Queen's Nest before a 3rd base this time. But still looks like Crazy Zerg with this early chamber here and the early Carapace upgrade. So I don't know what the deal with this hatchery is. Like, I don't know why you would just put it here or here, especially in this game. But that might be one way for Terran to come back in the game. Like, if Zerg kind of slowed themselves down here. earlier. We do finally have the third base started at 3 o'clock. So we haven't seen we haven't seen like a third base on this map, I think. These third bases are like, once they're set up, very defensible from ground, obviously. Both of these players are tier 1 Osiges, which is like, it's pretty broad, like MMR. I would say like 1500 to 1700 ish. But it doesn't correlate directly to MMR. The Hive Tech is started. There you go, Terran getting these vessels started a bit earlier than last game, which is definitely going to be good. I think the third base is going to be allowed to finish here. Terran does not seem to be checking out that corner of the map. Kind of just posturing here in the middle. Really expects there to be a base here. He scanned this corner base several times. But it's not, that's not quite how the game is going to play out here. Even checking this base, see if the Zerg's third was there. Oh no, a bunch of idle SCVs. That feels bad moment. Bunch of mutas, 11 mutas in the middle of the map. Hunting for the Marines while the Marines hunt for the mutas. Oh, here we go. Big confrontation here. Basically no micro from Type 100. A bunch of them go down. This is what a year-round needs, and I think a year-round has sniffed out this third base. This is kind of play that Terran needs to make here to get back into this game. Only 5 mutas left here, and they're very bruised. And this, I don't think this one sunk is going to cut it. Yeah, the sunk is even canceled and then remade. Type 100 is in a panic. Very scared for the safety of their third base. We do have these lings coming in here, but I don't think these lings are going to be enough. And here we go, the stim in here. I think this third base is done for. Oh, not if the units are too dumb to get through. Thank you, Breed Warp Havoc. All of the mutas, almost all the mutas go down. The sun goes down. The lings get here just a little bit too late. Maybe if everything fought at once, Zerg would have a chance to defend this base, but Roundy is going to get at least a small victory here by shutting that down, denying the further gas income to Zerg. And actually now we can see that, like, the Ultros Cavern is done, and the upgrades here, and then there's 100 gas left. And each Ultra is 200 gas. So actually, this late gas and then it being killed by Terran is actually a huge deal for Zerg. Like, gas is so critical to Zerg. So, you know, I would say that might even just even up the game for year-round, or maybe even put it in the lead for year-round now. Especially if this force manages to escape. We do finally have 2 Ultras in production. I don't know if that's going to cut it. A decently sized bioforce here. I think we even have some vessels somewhere. Actually, just 1 starport vessel. Pretty sure you just want to do 2. You're on 2 bases. Submarines do get cut out by the combination of lings and mutas. The rest of the force changes their mind. You know, changes their direction trying to stop these mutas. I feel like maybe they would just want to keep going across that bridge. We have an attempt at the third base here in the bottom left. Will year-round keep scanning there? Earlier in the game is very determined to make sure that there was not a base there. Let's see here, just continuing to get these upgrades. Every bit of Vespene gas is precious for Zerg. Vessels are here. The mutas are basically wiped out from the game. It's kind of like just lings and these 2 ultras. It's been pretty good for Terran. This bridge is going to be really deadly to get across, it's probably worth it to go around to a different way. Although if the Zerg just leaves, doesn't try to defend that bridge, that's pretty good too. And maybe trying to do a counterattack here. Oh, I think that is what we're going to see, or at least wrapping around here. But now the main Terran army has crossed the bridge. Cue the Benny Hill music. Units will get caught on the other side of the bridge, but Terran's trying to hit his natural. And actually, the Sunks, I don't know if Terran needed to back up there. Maybe there was some miscontrol. But actually, oh my god, these Lings, these Cracklings are doing nuts, like going wild on these Marines. I did not think that fight would go that way at all. Holy hell, I said it before, but Zerg is OP, dude. 1-1 Cracklings versus 1-0 Bio. Holy shit, that was not even close. Three kills on this one leg. Two units continuing to be really annoying. These two science vessels were like, man, that sucks. Good thing I'm in space right now. Seems like this third base in the bottom left is going to get up. Terran's army has been reset, so it's going to be a long time before you can threaten that base. The vessel count, though, quite crucially, was kept up this game. Don't really see any Scourge, and as soon as I say that, I notice that there's 2 pairs of Scourge in production. There's scan in the natural. Oh, and U-Round has scanned the bottom left. Again, knows that it's alive. Can he do anything about it? And actually, this base here, the third, is trying to come back alive. So we might have 4 bases for Zerg unless U-Round makes another successful push. He does get scouted by these links. Maybe securing this expansion site too. Terran can live on 2 bases for a long time, but at some point you would like to get a 3rd base. Is that another? No, surely this tank isn't trapped, right? Surely this tank can leave. And actually, this time it's Zerg moving out on the map. Maybe trying to fight in the open, which, you know, does make sense. Kind of play to your strengths here. Could get surrounded with all these melee units. Was that a Nidus or was that a drop? Okay, that was a Nidus. Okay. Immediately saturating this base here. And this double gas is probably more important than, like, any of the minerals. Like, Zerg would still take this base even if there are no minerals here. Around, scanning around the map, trying to get an idea of where the Zerg is, where he can attack. Has to be very careful with this push, because if this push dies, Zerg will just be on 4 base with high attack. And we do see in the production queue, we see this Defiler mount coming online. So even Crazy Zerg wants to get that Dark Swarm eventually. Oh, is Euron trying to take the top right base? We do have this 3rd command center coming up, and there was a SV here, but now it's left, so I don't know what that's about. We're trying to bait some of the Zerg army up there. I don't know. We do see the Terran army heading towards the left side of the map. We just have to see something. Yeah, we just have to see the Terran accomplish something on the map. You cannot sit back as Terran in this matchup. Ooh, Scourge here trying to catch these vessels, and they do get away. So what are the upgrades at? We got 1-2 here to 2-0. This armor upgrade is going to go sorely missed when these Cracklings start attacking. Which looks like it just finished. Nice. And we do have battle cruisers. We saw those earlier in the night. Could be decent against these ultras, actually. Oh my god, all of the Scourge in these vessels. There's a radiate on all of the ultras, but at this point, who's radiate hurting more? This Zerg army is cleaned up. A decent force here left for Terran. The Nidus Canal does allow for faster reinforcement. I don't know if these ultras are gonna be good in this like really tight environment though. They're probably gonna get stuck on each other a lot. Whereas like all the Marines will be able to shoot. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but Terran is splitting up their army, going down both these ramps. And we got a medic walks into the ultra party here and gets murdered. Come on, Nira, what are you doing? Going for the attack or something? Here we go. Peppering up these ultralisks with these radiates. But the Terran army really disorganized here, getting split in two here. All the ultras clean up this half over here. There's one medic blocking the ramp for everybody. This guy, this is the Leroy Jenkins of that bio ball right there, charging in. Oh, here we go. There was a counterattack at the natural. Thank you for calling that out, chat. I was too busy looking out whatever's going on here. But it was cleaned up by these reinforcements. We do have 2 battlecruisers, which will force gas and larva to be used on Scourge. If we hit the Yamato, they might actually be good against ultras, right? Here we go. Finally, the Terran army is fighting in this choke, getting a lot of value. Is it enough? I don't know. Base is going to survive. Meanwhile, we have a counterattack here headed to the Terran 3rd, which actually looks like it was counterattacked earlier. No mining going on right now. Oh, there has been mining for a little bit. Okay. That must have been what I missed earlier. Actually, it looks like this Terran attack has been cleaned up at the bottom left, but at 3 o'clock, the battlecruisers are here, killing drones. Hell yeah. I just get like a childlike sense of joy when I see battlecruisers, man. It reminds me of maxing out on battlecruisers against bots in like a 8-player custom map. Alright, so year-round's attack has basically been shut down. This base stayed alive. This one was shut down by these BCs for now. Oh, we have all the Scourge ever, though. And they actually don't make it. Each one is 1 Scourge hit away from death. A counterattack at the Terran Natural does go down here. But Terran just does not have that big of an army left. Although, well, yeah. Let's see. So actually, about double the supply of Zerg with almost 80... SCVs. Definitely want to transfer some of those. Ultras trying to force their way in. But the tanks and battlecruisers are able to punch through all that armor. We have this Defiler tag done. I haven't seen any Defilers yet, or the Consume upgrade. Trying to get this top right. Now defending this mineral only. Year-round is determined to stay in this game, and I mean, supplies make it look pretty good for Terran here. I'm just worried because like every big attack from Terran since the one that killed this like 10 minutes ago has not gone well at all. One battlecruiser sneaking off to the bottom left of the map, but we have a ton of Scourge here. I don't think the battlecruiser can kill enough of these, especially not on move command. There you go. 2 links here trying to get this SCV. It slides to the middle of the command center and it slides right on out. A bunch of drones here headed for the 3 o'clock. So let's see here. The year-round has a few vessels, but I was about to say it's stopped making vessels to make more battlecruisers, but now it's stopped making battlecruisers to make more vessels. But we have a ton of VCs, and this is how they work in this matchup, really. It's like you just kind of throw them at the Zerg and force them to deal with it. And year-round is doing a good job of that, although I don't think you want to be so brave with these vessels, especially when all of these ultras are attacking your A-10 at a 4th base here. Look at how well these ultras are just chewing through all of this bio, and this is like upgraded bio too. god. Ultra strong. E-Round has had enough. It's like maybe all the vessels died or something, I don't know. But that is going to be a victory for Type 100. And that is going to close out the game. Or the night, actually. 3-1 in favor of the flying SCVs. So that's going to be the last of the games I have for you tonight. We had a bunch of new viewers tonight, a bunch of followers. That's awesome. Thank you for the host again, Revolution Fear. I'm going to find someone to host. In the meantime, while I do that, if you enjoyed this cast, go ahead and give me a follow. I do these every Thursday for as long as we continue to have CPL. I think we have a few more weeks of this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the off season. I also occasionally stream other games if you don't find me unbearable. And if you like CPL in general, make sure to tune in to all the rest of the matches of the week and the other casted games. You can find us on the Team Liquid forums. I'm going to go ahead and raid Hazelnut, another CPL player. Go ahead and check her out. And thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night. Thank you for the follow. Good night, everybody.